Hello and welcome to today's lesson on changes of state, which is found in the particle model of matter topic for GCSE Separate Science Physics. So in today's lesson we're going to try to observe the change in the internal energy of a substance by looking at its change of state. So if we're successful and we learn in today's lesson, we should be able to draw and label what a temperature curve shows with changes in energy store, observe how the internal energy of a system can be changed, and describe how a substance can change state, which falls into the following part of the GCSE Separate Science Physics topic 4.3.1.2 Changes of State. So all objects are stores of internal energy. Now internal energy means the energy inside of an object. So all objects are made from particles. This means the energy must come from the particles themselves. And there are two stores of the internal energy: the kinetic energy store and the potential energy store. The kinetic energy store is due to the movement of the particles in the object, which is represented by the temperature of the object. Now if you change the kinetic energy store, you change the temperature of the object. Now the potential energy store is due to the attraction between the particles in the object, which is represented by the state of matter of the object. Change the potential energy store of the object, change the state of matter of the object. So the internal energy of a system can be changed if a change is made to the particle system of an object. The kinetic energy store can be changed if the temperature is changed, and the potential energy store can be changed if the state of matter of the substance is changed. However, only one store can be changed at once. They can't be altered simultaneously. Now when we've looked at the status of matter using the particle model of matter, we can consider the fact that substances can change between different states when their internal energy is changed, either increasing it or decreasing it. An example of this will be ice melting into water. It's a state change of a solid to a liquid. Another example will be water boiling into steam. It's a state change of a liquid to a gas. It could be the example of water freezing into ice, the state change of a liquid to a solid. The example of dry ice, carbon dioxide subliming from solid to gas without becoming a liquid. Now we refer to a state of matter as a physical change, but why is this? Well, it's because we consider them as physical changes as the material recovers its original properties if the change is reversed. So if you turn a solid into a liquid, you can return that liquid back into a solid by reversing that particular change, which is unlike a chemical reaction. But like a chemical reaction, in a physical change, the overall mass of a substance is conserved. So if you had 20 kilograms of a solid and it melted, you'd have 20 kilograms of a liquid, which then, if it then boiled, would have 20 kilograms of a gas. Now the reason for this is because in a physical change, the atoms cannot be created, they cannot be destroyed, they can only change their formation. Now, when we look at these states of matter, we notice that they can change between the different states. However, what are the names for these different state changes? So if we consider our solids, our liquids and our gases, well, a solid turning into a liquid is called melting. Now this requires an increase in internal energy. We know this because work must be put into the substance for this state change. The substance is being heated. Now this occurs at the melting point. A liquid turning into a solid is called freezing. This requires a decrease in internal energy. We know this as work must be taken out of the substance for this state change. The substance is being cooled, and this again occurs at melting point. Now a liquid turning into a gas is called boiling, which requires an increase in internal energy. We know this because work must be put into the substance for the state change. The substance is being heated, which occurs at boiling point. A gas turning into a liquid is called condensing, which again requires a decrease in internal energy. We know this because work must be taken out of the substance for this state change. The substance is cooled, and this occurs at boiling point as well. Now a solid turning into a gas is called sublimation, which requires an increase in internal energy. We know this because work must be put into the substance for this state change. The substance is being heated. Now a gas turning into a solid is called deposition, which requires a decrease in internal energy, because we know this as the substance has work taken out of it for this state change because it is being cooled. So what have we learned in today's lesson? You should be able to describe how, when substances change state, that they melt, they freeze, they boil, they condense, they sublimate, mass is being conserved. And changes of state are physical changes which differ from chemical changes because the material recovers its original properties if the change is reversed. So if we've been successful and we've learned in today's lesson, we can draw and label what a temperature curve shows with changes in energy store. We can observe how the internal energy energy of a system can be changed, and we can describe how a substance changes state. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson looking at changes of state in the particle model of matter topic for GCSE Separate Science Physics. Okay, and thank you very much and have a lovely day.